with what we are using and go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Manlove. Mr. Holt?
Lillian, I almost forgot the question.
Do you want me to repeat it?
No, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
When I served as mayor of the town of Elton, one of our biggest concerns was the BNRs, the biological nutrient removal. And what we did at the town of Elton at the time is we started in 1996 to put a new plant in, a new wastewater treatment plant to remove that. Our goal was to be way beyond the state requirements for the BNRs, and we were able to accomplish that. It's very, very important to do that. I wanted to touch base a little bit on the farm community. You know, we have regulations in place on the farm community about the BNRs, and I want to say here tonight, farming is not the issue when it comes to these BNRs. And I think that there's ways that we can capture a lot of the BNRs without continually, we have to review the regulations, but we also have to make sure that we're doing the best for all parties. And there's no one out here more sincere when it comes to making sure we protect our environment, for sure. One other issue that I think that we need to take a look at is the saltwater filtration into our wells. And that's going to be for the folks that's living on the bay or living on waterways, it's probably an issue that you haven't even addressed or not even aware of addressing it yet. But it's something we have to really consider and take a look at. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Another question, please. Okay.
I have lots of questions.
Okay, you have lots of questions?
I have lots.
Anyone else have a question? Okay.
Jobs, jobs, jobs. And I think the entire nation is behind that motto. But what specifically would you propose that we do here on the Eastern Shore to help bring more jobs?
Thank you. Between our local government, all the way down from the mayor and commissioners through the county government to the state level. And one thing that I did when I served as mayor is I actually went out and knocked on doors of business people. I was fortunate enough, and for the size of the town of Elton, we were about 12,000 people, well, about 10,000, growing to 12,000 people. I physically knocked on many doors to try to bring business in, and I think that's what we have to do. I had met with the folks from W.L. Gore. I met with retail businesses and food restaurants like Cracker Barrel to come into our community, which creates jobs. I think the trend over the state of Maryland for many years was these tech jobs, and I think that maybe we should start getting back into jobs that we can put our hands into the dirt and make a great living with. I know in our community we've lost a lot of jobs with the auto plants closing. We lost Chrysler and we lost General Motors. There's a lot of people out of work and there's skilled labor, so we have to find jobs for skilled labor. But it comes down to communication. We have to communicate with each other, and we have to knock on some doors and attract the businesses. We've got to find out what's best for our communities. Best for Queen Anne's, the best for Kent County, the best for Cecil County, and certainly the best for Caroline County. We really have to go out and try to find what's best for us.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ong. Mr. Mumford, you have a chance to also answer the question as you are an opposing candidate.
Thank you. Wonderful. I think we need to go even further. We need to work with the federal government, state government, and county government for job initiatives and have communication on all three levels for federal funding, state funding, and government funding, and then the local level. I want to commend, we have the Paul Reed Smith guitar, for example, Ken Island, which is a hands-on base manufacturing company. It's employing 250 people. This is the type of thing that we need. We need more manufacturing. We need to reinvest and start making things in America. Putting people back to work here. I know that the President is trying to do some things with corporation and tax incentives, and unfortunately our companies went overseas. Now we're trying to get them back. And it's going to be a long-term process, but we've got to have things that say made in America again. I have a background in acting. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild Union, AFL-CIO. We have a vast stage here. We need to reinvest in our Maryland film, tax incentives to bring the film industry back to Maryland. We're losing out to the other states, unfortunately. So that really needs to be looked at. $1 generates $30.
Thank you, Mr. Milford. More questions? Go right ahead. You know the drill.
Right.
You're not going to let me answer that one?
Maybe someone can pose it to you in a minute. I realize that a third span of the Bay Bridge has been shelved by the governor for a while, but should it be taken off the shelf while you all are serving your 4-year terms, how do you feel about a third span of the Bay Bridge in the 36th district? And if you feel positive about it, where would you work to have it placed? Or do you feel it's more appropriate in some other part of the Eastern Shore?
Is this directed
Oh,
to
and
all
I
three?
think I'll ask, since I get 2 for 1, I don't mean to short Mr. Manlove, but why don't I ask Mr. Mumford?
We don't need another bridge on Ken Island. The bridge needs to go south, Solomons and Taylor's Island, which would divert the traffic coming out of Baltimore and Washington down and over to the eastern, to Ocean City. The infrastructure is already there. You just have to go into Cambridge 50. If you look at a map, I had the map out this week actually at the 4-H park, and this was a conversation that I had. We need another bridge, but not here. It needs to go south. This was planned by Louis Goldstein when he was comptroller, and I had privilege of meeting him in the department store that I worked on in Ken Island in the 70s with my father. My father ran Fox's department store on Ken Island, and his brother Herb had the store. And Louis Goldstein used to come over, and we would have great conversations about the state of Maryland. But he had dedicated his own personal lands down in the area there for the bridge, for this anticipated bridge. So we need to take the bottleneck off of Ken Island. The people there are getting up early in the morning and waiting in long lines to come home. And I've sat in those as well, trying to get to Chestertown from being in Washington or Baltimore. But yes, another bridge, but not here. It needs to go south. It's appropriately should be positioned in the south of the state, Calvert County, such. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mumford. As an opposing candidate, Mr. Alt, you may also answer the question if you like.
Very good. Not being from Ken Island, I certainly can feel the impact of the residents that live in that area. Recently, I was coming from Annapolis, heading back to my home in Cecil County, and I too was, of course, caught in the traffic. And what I observed on the traffic was that there was one additional lane going across on the I guess it would be the southbound lane, but it appeared to be helping But what happens is once you go into the road where there's only 4 lanes, it's got a bottleneck again. Someone has to tell me why we have to continue to pay a toll on that bridge. And I'm sure there's a tremendous amount of revenue that's generated from that bridge, but we need to consider those options if that'll help the traffic flow. Traffic flow, no one likes to be stuck in traffic, and I really can't answer the question as far as where a location of bridge would be. That's certainly above my expertise. But I certainly, if I'm elected, I would certainly find that expertise to get the answer for the people that are affected on a daily basis. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Alt. Another question? There's somebody in the back, and then we'll be the next person.
It's been in discussion that the counties are going to, or is proposed that the teacher's pension to go back to the local government in the appropriate counties. What is your feeling on that topic, and how do you think that the local governments are going to be able to fund that? And I'd like to ask Mr. Mumford and Mr. Alt. I'm sorry. The teacher's pension, there's been some discussion that some of the funds or the cost of that is supposed to come back to the local government or the local counties across the state, and how are we supposed to fund that? And what are your feelings on that?
Okay. Mr. Alt.
And once again, I'll use my expertise as the mayor of Elton and working with the county government. We certainly know if the funding is dropped at the state level, it has to fall back on the county level and has to fall back on the municipalities. That means a tax increase at the municipality level, and it means a tax increase at the county level. There's certainly no getting away from it. I could not see being a local municipality guy and a county guy that we could stop that funding from the state. It's going to have to stay in place. We'll have to work on budget cuts elsewhere, but I certainly can't see how you can put any shift back to the county or any shift back to the municipality.
Thank you, Mr. Alt. Mr. Mumford?
It's a state issue. It shouldn't go to the county level.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Nan, your turn now.
My name's Frances Miller. I'm from Chestertown. I'd like to hear from Mr. Manlove on his opinion about the jobs, because to me that's the core of what's wrong and what has to be made right in this country.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Manlove?
Again, in Cecil County, we have been a little better off because of the base realignment. We have a few jobs come from that. But this country was made great by small independent business. And during my terms as county commissioner, I found that the small independent business came into the county, they came there and stayed, where the big businesses would come and go. The bottom line was different. I think that we, as a state and the counties, need to work closer with small business. And Maryland, I understand, has a reputation for being unfriendly to small business. But we must get back to the small business enterprises. They make jobs that local people can take. This is one of the troubles with BRAC. You've got to have a PhD almost to get most of the jobs. We need jobs for everyday people. A lot of our students in this 36th district only go partially way through college, if at all. So we need small independent entrepreneurs that will create jobs that our local people can fill and make it so they're sustainable. Direct them into the towns so they don't go out in the whole countryside. We also have to keep our transportation system in good shape so that we can